This
Great. So, hi everyone. Welcome to this session on WAT. I guess I am Rohtak has shared a new pattern where there is going to be a short aptitude test. Where you will be getting 60 questions in 45 minutes with +4 -1 marking scheme, and then you will be getting a WAT where you will have two topics to write on, and you will be expected to write a write up of around 250 words each on both the topics. Now you don't need to worry, we will be providing you around 6 WAT tests tomorrow, as well as we will be providing you two mock tests for IPM Rohtak based on this new pattern for the aptitude part. So these two things will be live tomorrow itself in your accounts. It will take time till tomorrow evening, so just bear with us till then. But we will definitely be making these things live in your account tomorrow. In addition to this, I have already shared a list of possible WAT topics in the WhatsApp group, which you can go through and start preparing certain areas around those topics. This session is majorly to help you understand what are the expectations typically when you write a WAT examination for a B school. And this is not something which is very rocket science, or it's not something which has just come out of the blue. All of you come from good schools, and you all have studied essay writing in your respective schools. Irrespective of the board you come from, you must have done a lot of essay writing in your school. This is an extension of that. More or less, the overall structure is like an essay. There are only few things which you need to keep in mind while you are doing a WAT, and hence none of you need to worry a lot. Hi, Andrilla. So none of you need to worry a lot, and just focus on certain basics which I am going to share in this session, and follow the overall structure which you used to follow for essay writing, and you will be all good for WAT. Yes, there is one thing on which you need to work, and that is the speed for typing 500 words. That is two topics put together in a limited time frame, which would be provided to you, and that's where the practice mock tests which we are going to provide you for WAT, they are going to help you, right? So we are just starting off the session, Andrilla, and starting off now. As I said that the format of WAT is more or less very similar to your essay writing, and we all have written essays in our schools. And introduction, body, and conclusion is a standard framework within which we used to write essays, and that is something which we would continue to follow even in WAT. You will be required to write the WAT on PC. You are not required to write on paper, people. You have to type on your systems. Then and as I said, if say you are writing a 250 word write up, approximately 40 to 50 words should go in your introduction, 40 to 50 words should go in your conclusion, and remaining 100 to 150 words should be in the body part. So that's how your broad level word distribution should be there, within these three subparts. Remember, you don't need to put headings. Do not put a heading like introduction, do not put a heading like body, or do not put a heading like conclusion. No, that this framework is just for you to remember. You will change the paragraphs. So for example, your first paragraph is going to be introduction, then probably next two paragraphs are going to be body, and the last paragraph is going to be conclusion. This is for your own internal reference while you are writing. You are not supposed to put these headings in your write-up. Your write-up should not have these headings. Is it clear so far? Now, what makes my WAT slightly different from my essay writing? Now, No, no, Anmol, you are not supposed to write like this, that your good morning, my name is this. No, just straight away write from the topic. No, you don't need to put up introduction like this. No. Now, what makes your WAT different, from your typical essay writing is, in WAT, in order to get brownie points, you need to include facts, figures, and data points around the topic. You need to include real life examples. So, for example, if I give you a topic around corruption, there have been so many scandals which you would have read. You may mention one or two of those scandals in your write-up. Or suppose, say, if you get a topic around corona, you should be able to talk about the data points around corona while writing up your WAT. Or say, if you get a topic around economy, you should be able to talk about some of the data points, like what is the growth rate, etc., etc. Suppose if you get a topic around unemployment, you should be able to mention unemployment rate, the reasons of those, and everything in your WAT. So the point is, your WAT should include facts, figures, real life examples, data points, and the more you include these, the better your write-up becomes. And most of these things would go in the body part of your WAT. That's where you will majorly include these areas, these facts, figures, and examples in your WAT. They typically won't go in introduction, typically won't go in conclusion, but they would 99% times go in the body part of your WAT. What you should avoid. Yes, you will not get this kind of a topic for WAT in IPM Rohtak. Now, what you should avoid for WAT is ensure that your write-up is not getting sarcastic in the tone, and you are not getting too negative in the tone, or you are not trying to go very aggressive in your tone. You can write your views in a favor of a particular thing or against a particular thing, but don't go very hard in the tone. You can put up your views both in favor or in against by maintaining a regular tone as well. So these are the two couple of things which you should keep in mind, that you should not be having in your write-up. Now, some things which I could put up as the part of best approach for WAT. Now, remember that whatever conclusion you are coming up with, it's based on the arguments which you have written. Now, for example, if I say, do you support transgender marriage? Yes, Kathy, I will share this PDF. This PDF has will also be uploaded in your ebook section. Anushka, I'll provide you the recording of this session immediately after this session, so don't worry. Uh, now, as I said, now suppose the topic which you get, let's say the topic which you get in WAT is, are you in favor of transgender marriage? Suppose this is the topic. You will not start your first paragraph by saying, yes, I am in favor, or no, I am not in favor. No, that's not how you will start. You will introduce the topic in the introduction. You will only use the introductory paragraph to introduce the topic. You will move on to the body part, where you will build your arguments, whether they are in favor, they are in against. Whatever conclusion you have to put up, you will be putting it up in the concluding paragraph based on the arguments which you have already mentioned in the body part. Does it make sense? You are not going to take a side straight away in the introductory paragraph. You will introduce the topic in the introductory paragraph, build your arguments in favor or in against in the body part, and then you will conclude with your view in favor, in against, yes, no, whatever it is in the concluding paragraph, so that when I'm evaluating a write-up, I could say that if Anushka has arrived at this particular view about a given topic, she has used arguments to build that. It is not that I am coming with a preset mentality. That's why I start off my WAT write up, by saying yes, I take this side. No, I do not take this side. No, that's the wrong way. So avoid that thing. Also, don't try to get too political while you are writing. So, for example, if you get, say, a political topic, try to maintain a decent balance only in the case of a political topic, because you never know that the person who is examining is coming from a right wing or a left wing, and or say a third kind of a wing. But and it at times it may happen that, say, if you have written your write up in a entirely contradictory wings support, that person may get personally offended, because as Indians we take politics to our heart, especially the parties we support. And that's where, just for a political topic, avoid to get too politically inclined. Take a balanced view only in the case of a political topic. For every other topic, take sides, not an issue. But for a political topic, only try to come up with a balanced view. Another thing which I've seen a lot of people do: avoid grammatical mistakes. Try to avoid grammatical mistakes. At least maintain a basic subject verb agreement, or where you are at least using the right tense for a right singular or a plural noun. Do not make those kind of very very basic mistakes of grammar in your write up. That is something which will make you lose marks. If you write in correct grammar, you will not get extra marks. But if you write with incorrect grammar, you will lose marks. Remember this. And one of the best things which we always say to avoid grammatical mistakes is to write shorter sentences. Do not write very long sentences. People, take a balanced view. I'm not saying that you cannot take a side. Take a side, but don't get outrightly against the other part of it. Yes, I'm only talking about a political thing. No one is coming here to judge your confidence by reading a write up. I can no I am not here to conclude your confidence. And taking a balanced view does not mean that your arguments are weak. You can take a balanced view with strong arguments as well. Taking sides is no reflection of having weak arguments or strong arguments. Arguments can be weak even if you have taken a side. Arguments can be strong even if you have taken a balanced view. Now, as I said, avoid writing very long sentences, because that's one way where you can reduce your grammatical mistakes. And lastly, as the last point, uh, one thing which I've seen that a lot of people ask me is, what if I don't know anything about the topic? What if the topic is alien to me? Whenever you get such a topic, try to break down the topic into parts. And even if, say, there are one or two words which you could understand from the given topic, try to focus on those words which you can understand, and then try to build arguments around that. At least do not submit a blank write-up, or say just a 50 to 70 word write-up when you are expected to write a 250 word write-up, just because the topic was unknown. At least ensure that you are writing at least 200 words per topic, whether you know the topic entirely or whether you don't know the topic entirely. If the topic is entirely alien, break it into parts. Whatever words you can understand, try to build an argument around that, and come up with the best possible form of the write-up which you can. Right. So that's another thing. Lastly, one thing which is not mentioned on this slide, which is on the screen, is there is a chance where you get an abstract topic. If you get an abstract topic, try to cover diverse perspectives around it. For example, what I mean by this is, for example, if I give you a topic as red, that's it, only one word, red. What would you write? What would you write about red? Suppose your WAT topic is red. How will you write? What will you write? Tell me. Anyone? Right. So whenever you get an abstract topic, write about the different things which it could signify or refer to. For example, red could be color of love, red could be color of danger, red could be color of blood, which you can correlate to violence, which you can correlate to riots. Red red is a color of a certain kind of a flag, or no, of a certain country. You can relate it to it, right? There are multiple aspects to it, and you also try to decipher stuffs around that. So for example, if I say red, is a color of blood, then blood can be correlated to violence. Violence could be correlated to riots. So there are a lot of things, and there, which you can keep on double clicking around an abstract topic and come up with a write up which is decently good. Remember, only one thing: when you get an abstract topic, try to cover as many different aspects as possible. So for example, if you get red, don't just write on blood and danger, write on love also, write on happiness also, write on how no red comes on say as a color on flag of certain countries, and what do those countries and their ideologies stand for. So that's how you can elaborate stuff. Yes, as I said, I'll be providing couple of WAT samples in your course account itself. If you will, in fact, they are already there. Just go to the ebook section of your course and you will find WAT samples. In case you all don't, just ping me on WhatsApp and we'll provide you by tomorrow. And WAT mock tests will be available as well by tomorrow, right? So these are few things. Shrishti, they may ask you this topic. They may ask you this topic. So with this, we come to the end of this quick session on WAT tips, which you need to keep in mind. I'll keep the house open for some of the queries. Any queries which some of you may have, you can ask. Otherwise, for all of you who joined a bit late, I will provide the recording of this session before 11 p.m. so that you can go through it. Format, as I said, it has to follow a introduction, body, and conclusion format. 3 to 4 paragraphs overall write-up. Any queries, anyone? Aditi, Purvai, Karunya, Shama, Anmol, Suraj, Shrishti, Vishnu, Anushka, Khyati, Alka, Andrila, any queries? Shrishti, they're not going to ask you why not Indore. They will only ask you why IPM. They're not going to ask you why Rohtak or why Indore as their topic. They will only ask you why IPM as a career. See, now Yash, that's something which you need to derive for you. So for example, you may be writing around 8 to 10 words in one sentence, so approximately 25 to 30 sentences overall. Vipul, ideally there is no brownie point which you are going to get to include high level words. The purpose of a WAT is whatever you want to communicate, that should get communicated in the best possible way. You should be a good articulator. A good articulator does not need to use high level words. Yes, ideally no. I never prefer to use ornamental words or high level words while writing a write up. My purpose of writing an article or a write up is that the person who is reading should be able to understand it. I do not just include the high level words to showcase my vocabulary. You are not going to get any points for your vocabulary. You are going to get points for the arguments you build, and they can be built even with the simplest of the words out there. Yes, Purva, you can use imaginary numbers, and in fact, that's a good point which you raised. If you don't know the exact numbers, you can always use the word approximate and quote a number. That's completely fine. Yes, not more than one quote. Ideally, with such a less word limit, you should not go for quotes. But even if you use just one. Perfect, Vishnu. I understand. I hope you could understand few things around WAT. Khyati, they will be provided in the ebook section of your course already. You can have a look. In case you do not find them, just ping me on WhatsApp and we'll provide the samples by tomorrow. Great. Fine. So thank you, everyone. I hope I could help you out with some of your queries around WAT. I'll provide the recording of this session immediately and start preparing the WAT topics which I have shared. People who are appearing for IPM 2021, you can avoid that list because we will provide you a fresh list for IPM 2021 when the time comes. People for IPM 2020, please prepare those topics. And mock WAT tests and 2 mocks for a new pattern IPM Rohtak will be available tomorrow. Purvai not required. You are not required to write down the topic again. Purvai, this is not required. Okay. Great. So with this, I end the session. In case you will have any more queries, feel free to ask them in the WhatsApp group. I'll be there to help you out with any of your queries around WAT. I hope this was of some use. Good night, everyone, and thank you for joining.